Get ready for the dictation. Dictation will start in 5 seconds. Start. As a nurse, I believe since the time of Florence Nightingale, the goal of nursing has always remained the same, namely to provide a safe and caring environment that promotes patient health and well-being under bracket Slenders and Crane 2012. This goal forms the foundation of the nursing philosophy. In other words, my nursing philosophy aligns to provide a safe and caring nursing environment that promotes overall patient well-being. A safe environment is a healing environment. In this case, to provide a safe and healing environment, it is critical as a nurse to integrate effective use of an interpersonal tool such as advocacy and promote a caring environment. The four meta-paradigms of nursing include person, environment, health and nursing. The interpretation of a person as a nursing meta-paradigm is the promotion of the practices that satisfy human needs through social care. It focuses on the patient who in this case is the person or the recipient of care under bracket branch 2016. Every person has his or her unique needs that imperative to be honored and met within the framework of providing care. In order for a person to receive full healing within a healthcare environment, a holistic approach is necessary that focuses on the mind, body and soul. On the meta-paradigm of the situation, it is critical to note that the environment plays an essential role within the nursing process. An environment has a direct impact on the patient's healing process as well as the nursing ability to provide care. A safe nursing environment is critical for the patient's healing process and nurses as well as under bracket branch 2016. On the meta-paradigm of nursing, Watson offered an insight into the need for nurses to establish relationships with their patients. Although medicine and science are therapeutic factors, relationship building is essential in establishing cooperation between the nurses and the patients. On the meta-paradigm of health, nurses are required to take a holistic approach with their patients under bracket Nick Farid 2018. The plan should focus on the patient's mind, body and soul. For effective healing, there is a need for nurses to establish a complete balance of a patient's physical, cognitive and spiritual self. In other words, nurses have the responsibility to unify these three components to be able to achieve proper health. In my opinion, I believe the four meta-paradigms of nursing cover the nursing concept in its entirety as it focuses on nursing concepts, patient, environment and conditions that influence health. The development of my nursing philosophy is inextricably linked to the learning process that has given me experience, and my views on the nursing mission have changed. From my role as a secondary staff performing routine functions, the image of a nurse in my perception has evolved into a critical figure in the art of nursing. The essential principle of nursing philosophy is respect for life, dignity, and human rights. Under bracket, what is a philosophy of nursing 2016? On this basis, a nurse should not see a patient as just another client, but as an individual who represents an integral whole with his or her inner capacity for growth and development. Only in a few cases can a nurse who should be considered a prior strong spirit and cold-blooded be confronted with ideas that break down personal philosophy. In the course of medical patient practice, as in other world field of activity, one inevitably faces the fact that familiar views of the world are collapsing. As a rule, an event or phenomenon that has occurred has come into conflict with a person's perception of the world. A similar situation happened to me when I was engaged in nursing activities. In my case, due to my profession, I had to meet a patient who was aggressive and did not want to make a medical compromise. The principles of philosophy show the need to treat the patient with respect, with trembling, but it is implicitly a two-way relationship. As a result, I had to reconsider some of my perceptions, and I did not conflict with the patient because the nurse must remain the guarantor of peace, care, and love. Within my philosophy of care, self-determination and independence of the patient are not the least important. They are inextricably linked to the capacity of the patient and are realized by consenting to the treatment that the patient gives after he or she has received information about his or her state of health. When I faced the choice of relatively aggressive treatment of the patient, I decided not to cheat on myself and did not treat the patient without his consent. Thus, I only reinforced the idea of how important it is to respect the patient's choices. Although it is certainly worth mentioning that there are situations when one cannot ignore a threat to a person's life, and in such an emergency, the head doctor or a surrogate decides to continue treatment without requiring the patient's consent. The essence of the professional medical practice lies in four planes: care, patient, health, and environment. The meta-paradigm of nursing involves each of the elements creating a kind of instruction for the novice nurse. Under bracket, Rosa, East and Watson, 2017. It is a collection of fundamental theories and ideas about how nursing practice should function. The four paradigms can be linked as follows. The environment affects the health of the person, who then turns to the nursing staff for care. The original philosophy I described earlier has not undergone a radical metamorphosis. Taken into account the past tense and accumulated experience, we can say that the initial model of perception of nursing was polished in the same way as a sculpture is made of stone and insignificant parts were broken off. I now pay more attention to the versatile personality of the patient than to create an environment. Of course, creating an environment of comfortable treatment is very important, but in these conditions, you cannot be negative or ignore the wishes of the patient, full stop.